Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. As you can tell, we are back with another box office report. It is now March, so we are now going to be recapping February. And this time we're actually going to do a discussion because I was curious if you guys will prefer this format over the other format that I did, because the first time we did this, I did a rapid fire basically where I just showed each results and didn't really talk about it at length. Um, so so we're gonna do it this way. The reason we're also doing it this way is because I created a PowerPoint presentation. I know to kind of explain things more, just give more of a visual context, and also just to give a little bit of a different variety to some of the videos here and there. We primarily use the camera for a lot of things, so figure just to give some differences within content. Preferably, we try to do this, so a little more laid back, a little more, kind of high schooly, So yeah, but we are here with a box office report for February. Now, as you can tell by the bottom, this has been updated since March 2nd, so it's not considering any future box office takes or any box office takes that have happened recently. I'm only considering what I've seen up to March 2nd. One caveat would be with one film in particular, which I will bring up in a little bit because I decided at last minute to include a certain film, but here are some things to consider in regards to how I measure films. So, how I measure films, I've talked about this before on the channel. Um, I don't go by just the blanket statement that people use when they consider box office. Usually how it used to be is that it's two times or three times, and some people will bring up the 2.5 ratio, but they'll kind of blend that into like all sorts of budgets. And I don't think that way because I don't think that's fair in an assessment of how investments are. So I categorize it like this, mainly to do with how things are today in regards to finances and post pandemic, how the theatrical experience has really fallen, from its grace, and ultimately just with how product is today, and just overall just collection of money. There's a need for more money to be made. So in that, I think that this makes a lot more sense in terms of how I categorized it. So if it's a single digit thing, I say two times is fair. With double digits, 2.5, and with triple, I think it has to do obviously triple its budget. So now I also am including any publicly known marketing expenses or any other related expenses, like if there were any uh, purchases of like the film rights to a certain IP or whatever like that. If that information is available, I will also include it. If it's not, then I'm just judging it by the production expenses alone or by what information is out there or that we can, procure or just, observe. So hopefully that all makes sense. So now let's get into the films that came out in February. Now we're just mainly talking about the most noteworthy films. We're not going to talk about every single film that came out in February because there's so many that will go under the radar and just frankly won't be noteworthy and hence won't make a lot of money. So they're not really going to be worth discussing when it comes to just you know when it comes to just the primaries. The more noteworthy is the ones that have the most money attached to it, the ones with the most attention, hence the ones that have the most potential to make money. So we're mainly going to discuss those films. And the first film we're going to discuss is a film called Love Hurts. This came out on February 7th. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. This came out on February 7th, being distributed by Universal Pictures. And this is how it did. It had a total gross of 16.8 million. had a budget of 18 million, and we don't have any information regarding marketing expenses. So all we know is that by production, it was an $18 million investment, and if you go by my ratio, it's a double digit, so it's 2.5. So in this case, it has to do at least 45 million in my scale to break even, and clearly that's not the case. It's really underperforming. I guess, really, like, this is frankly a bomb. It's not going to get anywhere close to this number at this rate. I mean, it's February 7th, and as I said, this was made, with the numbers that were released or seen so far by March 2nd. So yeah, so the whole month has almost gone by. 16.8. Yeah. So this is a bomb. Absolutely a bomb, 100%. So the next film we'll look at, Hard Eyes, also came out the same weekend as Love Hurts, this time being distributed by Sony Pictures. And they did a little bit better. A little bit better compared to Love Hurts. Same budget and same expenses that were not released. So 45 million is where it needs to hit. 30.2 million. So not great. I checked again. It's at 31 million. So, and again, almost a month has gone by. So it. I have doubts that it's really gonna meet this number at this point. It's probably gonna meet somewhere like 35, 36 million at this point. So yeah. So it's not a like big bomb for the studio, but it's not a success story either. So again, not another failure here. Just this one's more minor, I guess, in terms of the losses. So speaking of massive failures, yeah, Captain America: Brave New World came out on Valentine's Day. You would think that Hard Eyes comes out on Valentine's Day, but it didn't. But this came out on Valentine's Day, obviously distributed by Disney. And how did it do? This has a budget of 180 million, and we actually know the marketing costs for this were roughly 100 million dollars. So you have a 280 million dollar investment, which lines up to what people have been saying for a while. A lot of people have been speculating on just the budget, attached to this thing. Some people were saying it was like 400 million or something like that. The studio's like, no, it's not that expensive, but clearly, when you put it all together, you're looking at roughly a $300 million investment, and 300 million so far as its gross. And to break even, again, we're talking, if you go by my scale, triple digits. So triple that. So $840 million this has to do. Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of their lower grossing films, and definitely probably a bomb in the making, because that's not a good look. That's really not a good look. I think that they're hoping that this can reach like 400 to 500 million, and they might just say that that's okay. But they're hoping that you forget this. They're hoping that you forget that this exists and that this is the only thing that counts. No, these two things contribute, and this is what is the investment. So yeah, so not looking great. Not looking great. I don't see longevity for this. It dropped pretty big on its second weekend, so yeah. So there's that. And then opening the same weekend as Captain America, Paddington in Peru, which we did a review for, distributed by Sony Pictures, and well, it had a decent run in the UK. So far, collecting $152.8 million. Has a budget of 90 million though. So in my scale, it has to do roughly 200 million, and so far it's not bad. But considering how it's performed here in the U.S., I don't think it's going to have strong legs in the near future. So I don't think it's going to get to this number. It's probably going to get close to 200 million, and I don't see that as a success story. The company does, for some reason, because they've already greenlit another film. But Yeah. This isn't really strong. I wouldn't call this a strong take. This seems pretty weak, if you ask me. So, so then moving into the next weekend, this is the film I think I just put in, right? Or no, I think this is a different one. Is it Oh no, no. So it's the next one. But The Monkey. This came out on the 21st, be distributed by Neon, and this did fairly well. Total gross of 26.7 million, had a budget of 10 million. We don't know the marketing costs associated with it, so all we know is it's 10 million. Break even point 25. So it's already done enough to cover its own production costs. So based on that information alone, we can determine that this is a win. So good on them. I mean, always keeping it low. That's the key nowadays, is keeping it low. And also with horror, it always wins out. I was going to see this, but I just never got around to watching it. So um, I'll be honest, I just wasn't in the mood to watch it. Maybe in the future I'll check it out, because I am curious to see it, because I've heard some decent things. So, but yeah, good on the monkey. Good on the monkey. Did pretty well. And this is the film I believe I added in. Yes. So I didn't include this because there isn't much information out there, but considering how it's done, it needs to be talked about. So this is The Unbreakable Boy. Came out again the same weekend as The Monkey, distributed by Lionsgate, and we don't know any production expenses or any marketing costs. So I'm making a guess that this is at least a $10 or $15 million thing. But and I'm guessing it probably has to do at least this amount, 25 to like 30 something million. This so far has collected $5 million. It opened at eighth place at the box office. Yeah, this was a flop. This is a flop. It just came and went. And I think it's worth talking about. I think the studio would like you to not talk about it, just because, again, looking at what information is not there and what is, it's, yeah. So, yeah, I saw the trailer a few times in theaters, and it looked innocent, but I wasn't really like starstruck by it, or really like, like, oh my gosh, this is so fucking like, like, this has to be seen on the big screen. It's like there wasn't much appeal, really. So starstruck was not the right phrase. You know what I mean? It's like it just wasn't one of those that really, really impressed me by a trailer, and clearly it didn't for a lot of other people. Now it doesn't end with Lionsgate though, because Last Breath also came out. This came out on February 28th, also distributed by Lionsgate. And yeah, this didn't do good either. Now, we do know the budget here. This is about 23, 24 million. We don't know any marketing costs attached to it. Has to do 57.5 million to break even, at least according to my scale. $7.8 million so far. That's not good. That's really not good. I actually know that this was the mystery movie a few weeks ago. Yeah, know this about mystery movies. A lot of times they put the mystery movie that they choose is the movie that really won't make them make the most money. So they just do it because they hope to collect a little bit more money. So some of that money is probably from the mystery movie night, not from actual Friday opening and stuff like that. So yeah. So yeah, this is another bomb right here. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. So if you're keeping track, so The Monkey is really the only thing that did well. I'm not joking. This is literally the only film of these other ones that did well in February. We're literally looking at one film that did well. The rest have flopped, or at least are not tracking well. Paddington may be an exception. I don't know, but yeah, dude, not great, not great. And especially when you go look at how the year has generally been so far. there's only been 4 films that have done well. One of them, Days, Presents, Dogman surprisingly turned a profit, and just The Monkey. And here's all the other flops that have happened. So yeah, it's not been the best. It's not been the best. It's been pretty grim so far, and I'm doubting that March is going to be another great month. April's really, I think, where things are going to start to happen big wise, because that's when films like Minecraft are going to start showing up. Because as it stands, there's just not a lot of appeal right now, and the box office shows that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But February was not a good month. Really not a good month. January was not a good month either. But this was also just a big no. And I seriously doubt that March is gonna be is really gonna be a game changer. So this first quarter is shaping up to be pretty grim. But we shall see. Like I said, I think April is going to be kind of a turnaround period, because that's when films like Minecraft are going to show up. And I think that we're going to start seeing a little bit of a change, but we'll see. But you guys will know your thoughts in the comment section below in regards to the box office, the films that did well versus the films that didn't. And if you guys saw any of these movies, did you guys like them or not? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. Your predictions for March, how you think March is going to shape up. I've seen some projections for Mickey 17. Not looking great, and we'll talk about that in the news roundup once we get the results in from the weekend. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm sorry, I can't tell where if I'm looking straight at the camera or not, so my apologies if I'm just kind of doing like this, but hopefully I'm now staring at it. It's this little camera on my laptop. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.